Thank God it is Friday. Good morning. This is THG News Today with Mervyn Hanley. It's the 15th of March. It's the weekend. It's mid-month. We're getting there. The news this morning, as we know it, is brought to you with the kind of sponsorship of Carl & Sons on St. Martin and Ephesians on Nevis. This week, ladies and gentlemen, we launch Spotlight, where we feature businesses on here. And come Monday and next week and weeks ahead, God spare our lives, I will share some new businesses with you all around the different islands, whether it's St. Kitts, Nevis, Anguilla, St. Martin, Dominica, Antigua and Barbuda, Barbados, you name it. So call us the Caribbean Yellow Pages, yeah? For you business owners, this is only $150 to get you on Spotlight. Just WhatsApp us on 1-869-667-7443. That's 1-869-667-7443. And in the meantime, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Let me give you a second to do that. Thank you very much for subscribing to THG Network, THG News Today. Now, let's get to some news this morning. The talk around the town, around the Caribbean islands, around the world, in the entertainment world especially, it's about the Privy Council's decision as it pertains to dancehall entertainer Vybz Kartel. The Privy Council has ordered that incarcerated dancehall artist Vybz Kartel and his 3 co-accused have their convictions quashed for the murder of Clive Lizard Williams. The Judicial Committee of the Privy Council has unanimously concluded that the appeals should be allowed and the appellant's convictions should be quashed on the grounds of juror misconduct, and that the case should be remitted to the Court of Appeal to decide whether to order a retrial of the appellants for the murder of Clive Lizard Williams, the Privy Council stated. The UK-based Privy Council, the highest tier of the court system in Jamaica, handed down its decision on Thursday to have the convictions of Vybz Kartel, real name Adidja Palmer, fellow entertainer Sean Storm Campbell, Kahira Jones, and Andre St. John be quashed based on the arguments presented last month. On February 14th and 15th, the appellants presented arguments on whether trial judge Lennox Campbell should have allowed telecommunication evidence, which was obtained in a manner that allegedly breached Palmer's constitutional rights to privacy, into the trial. Another ground cited for appeal was the judge's decision to not discharge the jury or the accused juror following allegations of bribery attempts. The appellants also argued that there was an apparent rush placed on the jury to return a verdict, even after the forewoman had told the judge earlier in the day that the jury could not reach a unanimous decision. In July 2014, Cartel was sentenced to life in prison with the eligibility of parole after serving 35 years of his sentence. His co-accused were also handed life sentences, with Sean Storm and Jones being eligible for parole after serving 25 years and St. John being eligible after serving 15 years. The 4 men first attempted to appeal their sentences in the Court of Appeal, but they were upheld. So what does all this mean? Well, let's hear from our resident attorney from Anguilla. She's just one of the greatest brilliant minds out there when it comes to criminal law. She will take her time and break this all down for us. Nakishma Rogers is a graduate from the University of the West Indies, Cave Hill, and Norman Manley Law School in Jamaica, with a master's degree from the University of London. So she is very much equipped to give us her view on all this. She has practiced 6 years as a criminal defense attorney and 6 years as Crown prosecutor in Anguilla. So ladies and gentlemen, here is Nakishma Rogers for you with her professional view, thoughts, whatever you want to call it, on all this.
2 big questions arising from the case of Adidja Palmer in the Privy Council yesterday. And Adidja Palmer, as we know, is Vybz Kartel. The 2 questions that have been burning: what is the effect of the decision of the Privy Council as it relates to the quashing of the convictions, 1, and 2, the remitting of the case to the Jamaican Court of Appeal. First of all, with regard to the quashing of the convictions, it means that he should be released. There's no reason to keep him in custody because the convictions have been quashed by the court. They're null and void. Now, the decision to remit the question of whether or not the case should be retried simply means that the Privy Council did not decide on the merits of the case, whether he was innocent or guilty. What they decided on was the process. Two of the issues raised by the appellants, and Cartel was one of the appellants, he was the second appellant. Two of the issues raised were one, jury issues, and two, the manner in which evidence was procured in the matter, which they would have argued rendered the conviction or the convictions unsafe, as we like to say in law. So it really goes to process, which means that technically they could cure the process through a retrial. Whether or not a retrial is practical or even possible after all this time has passed, that's a separate question. My professional opinion, having prosecuted for a long time, it's unlikely that a retrial is going to happen. So essentially, those that have been calling for free the world boss, he is free. He's free.
Thank you, Miss Rogers. I told you guys that she was just one of the greatest, right? When it comes to criminal law. So again, that's Nakishma Rogers from the beautiful island of Anguilla. Now, in a heartfelt address to the territory, that's the British Virgin Islands, on Wednesday, Premier Dr. the Honorable Natalio Wheatley extended condolences to the family and loved ones of the late Jamal Smith, the BVI's first homicide of 2024. Premier Wheatley said Smith's untimely departure has left a profound void in the Virgin Islands, as he was a talented legal professional and a dedicated community leader. As the founder of Thornton Smith, a renowned law firm specializing in corporate law and intellectual property rights, Smith was widely respected for his expertise and integrity. Premier Wheatley also noted that Smith's contributions extended beyond the legal realm, as he served the Virgin Islands in various public capacities, including chairman of the Social Security and Labor Department Tribunals, member of the Board of Directors of the National Bank of the Virgin Islands, and the Board of Governors of the H. Lavity Stout Community College. Premier Wheatley expressed prayers for the eternal rest of Mr. Smith's soul and offered solace to his grieving family members. He also took the opportunity to condemn violence and crime, reaffirming the Virgin Islands' commitment to restoring peace and tranquility to the territory. The lifeless body of Smith was found at his Manuel Hill residence on Tuesday with gunshot wounds. May his soul rest in eternal peace. I know it was just shocking to me because I knew him, and of course to the community of the Virgin Islands, that they just found him there with, according to reports, a bullet wound or a bullet to his head. Yep, that's the attorney Jamal Smith there in the British Virgin Islands. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as we end our program for today, I want to share with you a social media post I made yesterday from Pastor Keon Henderson there in Houston, Texas. Let me just read that post. Choose your inner circle wisely, for when you invite the wrong person to your table, you become the meal. Surround yourself with those who truly appreciate you for who you are, not just what you represent. Now, let me read that again. Choose your inner circle wisely, for when you invite the wrong person to your table, you become the meal. Surround yourself with those who truly appreciate you for who you are, not just what you represent. And I read those comments and it really resonated with me, and I guess from past experiences and all of that. And I just want to encourage you this morning, today, or whenever you choose to listen to this news segment, that life in and of itself is a challenge. Its ever-changing scenes call us to be adaptable to situations. And it is for those very reasons why, ladies and gentlemen, we must be so very careful about who we let into our circle. That inner circle of our lives where the matters of the soul, heart, and mind are so important. We must be careful in particular with whom we give access to in our lives. For access granted could surely mean life or death for some of us. I can go a little further in saying the people in your circle may not even be in your corner. They may not be really rooting for you. Rather, they are planted seeds of deception, hiding behind the grand facade of best friend or bro and sis or whatever it is, or good friend. But deep down, they compete against you. They are rooted with envy and desire to see you fail and destroyed. We have got to use every sense we have, both literal and figurative. If it looks fishy, smells fishy, and if it feels fishy, then dump it. Protect your space, your energy, and your life. And then having people in your inner circle who are likely be at that table you prepared. They're all drinking and joyfully in your presence. Yet when you're not around, they devour you with their actions, thoughts, words, and deeds. Not everyone who calls you friend you should embrace. So be careful not to feed the enemy, giving them strength to take you down. When the red flags go up, don't let your guard down. Protect your peace. That ends our program for today. Have yourselves a wonderful and blessed weekend. And do join me, God's willing, at 6 a.m. on Monday for a similar presentation. I am Mervyn Hanley, signing off this morning.